Give me a second, I'm getting the filters. Yeah, filters are nice. It's not Undertale. Maybe the sprites do, but I don't think the game looks like an RPG Maker game. Do I sound better now? I think I should be all good. Yeah, they do be looking different, don't they? Well, I think I have all the microphone stuff done now, finally. Let me know if there's still something wrong. I don't underestimate it, man. I don't know if you know, but I've made 5 games in RPG Maker. Let's see, so we got the hero, the maiden, the underling, and the overlord. Which one should we do first? The Empire? I don't think there's a vampire. You do be a heckin' Empire, yes. Yes, that makes more sense. Which one do you guys want to see done first? Yes, I get it. I get your joke. Underling? Alright. You are a demon underling, in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. It's a lot of standing in one place, staring into nothing. You feel like you're going to go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree that she's kind of a snob and totally deserves to be kicked off of her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer this into a responsible direction. Let's see, let's overthrow her or let's not. Oh boy. What should we do? Should we be disloyal and overthrow her or let's not? Underling do have a good vibe though. This music is heckin' bumpin'. Take over? Well, let's overthrow her then. No, you're sick of the Overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree that it's time for a change of management. Your friend suggests maybe you should be the new Overlord. You like the sound of that. You announce your first act of rebellion is to take the day off like you wanted. Your friends aren't very impressed. You assure them you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You seek out of the castle to have some fun. The change of atmosphere excites you and you spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She seems very frightened and screams for a hero to come save her. You consider your options. Gobble her up 'cause we hungry, or tell her to quit yelling. Another fork in the path, what shall we do? Nom nom? You heard 'em, gobble her up. Maidens aren't the best meal, but you figure you should live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without as much as a second thought. You feel quite proud of that. I thought it said help her yelling for a hero. No, it was asking if you wanted to stop her from yelling for a hero. Other humans would surely praise you with curses if they were around to see. Oh man, if only someone could have been watching. Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander into the nearby village. The people are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. You think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. Let's put on a show. Should we change our mind and leave? We have other plans afoot. Showtime? You do like your shows, though. You attack the nearest human. He is old and weak and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audiences scream, grow louder. Applause. You think, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should have taken revenge like this a lot sooner. As you continue your bloodthirsty dance striking the villagers down, you fail to notice a sword-wielding hero running towards you. He takes you out in one swift blow. You're just a demon underling after all. As you die, you think, that was totally worth it. The curtain closes. Former underling and unlocked. Well, we died, so I guess that would be a bad ending. Let's reset the stage. Ooh, so I got two things here now. I can be hungry, I can be disloyal. Should we go with the underling again, or should we choose a different one now? Sip my Kool-Aid I got here. Some good old Kool-Aid. Can we eat people with the maiden? I don't know. Should we be the maiden and try? We can be the cannibalistic maiden. Or are you asking if the underling can get the maiden to join him in eating people? We ate her last episode. Now she'll eat us. Yes, that is a concern to be had. The maiden's nice, I think. No, let's be the maiden. You are a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. You are told that you are fated to be captured by the overlord one day, because you are a beautiful young girl. Demon overlords apparently love capturing those. You think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone. Maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity, who knows? Yuki, I can't do a lolly voice. I'm sorry. Don't be angry, I'm sorry. I can try my best, but I'm not a good voice actor, and I don't think I could sound like a... We need female lolly. I don't know how to do a good female voice, man. I mean... Unless you want to come in here, Yuki, and voice the maiden for me. Putting you on the spot now, I'm gaslighting you. What do you have to say to that, huh? I'll try my best. Can't even think of how I would get the voice like that, but... We're in a church. You pray to your god, asking, why have you been born into this role of a maiden? What? You are that many kilometers away over the seas, I guess, but at the same time, you could not be. I don't know where your cave is. You put your hand on the throat. Hand on the throat and push up, huh, mate? I'll humor you and try it, but... You are in a church. You pray to your god, asking why you've been born into this role of a maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You are impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were just to hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note and venture forth to find a demon just to, you know, see what happens. I'm not doing a good job. Listen, it's awful. I don't know, like, I'm horrible at voice acting females, if you couldn't tell by my Fairy Fencer F episodes on YouTube. I'm not very good with all the different voices. Along into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. Shout for a hero to come save you, or introduce yourself. Polite. Laughs an evil voice actor. You're evil, Yuki. Someday I will have my revenge on you. Somehow. Some way. What should we do, though? You got me there. We be friends for life. Hey, I don't want to eat any humans. Yes, best friends. I'm not gonna eat any humans, though. Let's see, should we shout for a hero like we saw her do before, or should we introduce herself? Pull an Aaron Yeager? Introduce, huh? Alright. You tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting. A lot. How painful. This plan of yours was completely stupid. You think, why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You aren't angry or anything, of course. So it was all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you on sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. The Consumed Maiden ending. Well, we know both ends of it. We know how to be eaten and how to eat. It's kind of sad, though. Is that Bob Ross? Alright, should we be the hero or the overlord now? You want to consume. Excuse me. Let's consume the heroes. Well, if you want to consume the hero, I'm going to play the overlord. Maybe we'll have a chance. You are the overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called hero, whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal anyway? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes they'll leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole overlord thing. You're being quite honest with yourself, you don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself everyone is doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself in a higher standard like that. One of your underlings... I'm not doing a hecking lolly voice for the overlord. The overlord's supposed to be evil and stuff. Why would I do a lolly voice? I'm already horrible at it. Alright. Fine. I'll try my best. I'm sorry. One of your underlings walks into your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all of the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What do you do with this underling? Tell them to go back to work, or grant them the day off. We can be a tyrant, or we can grant them the day off. Also, Yuki, I can't read Japanese. Eat. Which option do you think will lead to eating? Option 3, eat. There's no option 3. Now let's save real quick. Nope. Eat. Fine, I'll choose. There's no eat option yet. We'll tell them to get back to work. You give them a good lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants ought to do what they are told, whether they like it or not. They look really unhappy with you, but you're sure they'll thank you for this later. Venturing too far from the castle tends to spell death. You dismiss the underling and lie down in your nice and comfy overlord bed. All that lecturing made you want to take a nap. You fall asleep pretty quick. Just another one of your amazing talents as the overlord. Yuki, it's okay, we'll eat. Don't cry. You awake to a huge commotion outside. A hero has shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell? Guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him, and very rudely inquire his reasons for doing all this. The hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You are unable to defeat him. With decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you to pieces. You fall. You have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly. You wish you'd been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the Overlord in the first place. The truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you are swallowed by darkness. Conquered Overlord ending. He really is a jerk, isn't he? Next time I stream, hopefully I can have a chat on the screen here so that people won't think I'm crazy when I'm talking to chat. We didn't get nommed. We don't know if the hero ate us. I don't think he would have. Well, let's be the hero. You are the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You were told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at the nearby demon overlord's castle. Yeah, we can probably be less of a jerk, man. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. You're happy to protect the townspeople, though. You were born to play this role. You head off to your adventure to rescue the maiden. But demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience, bravely slaughter the evil creatures, dutiful, or flee like a coward. Well, you want to be less of a jerk, we'll flee like a coward. Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. But you can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue the maiden all on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You'll take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all, this is your job. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that are all very intimidating. Want to have a jungle life? There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Cut through the demon army, dutiful, or ask if they'll let you in, diplomatic. What should we do, Yuki? Should we ask them to let us by instead of killing them? Ask? Okay. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare down at you and you feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord is alone. You ask about the maiden, but the Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. Was she really never here? You wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord says that she wishes she could help you, but you're the first human that's come here in forever, at least that she knows of. You think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all, but you can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. Useless hero ending. Yes, it did work. We didn't have to slaughter them. But dang, the maiden hasn't had a good run at all yet. What do you mean, lovely? We never found the maiden. Let's see here. Let's be the Overlord again. We did kill no one, that is true, but someone else did die in the story, which makes it a bad ending. Well, there has to have been one if the villagers from the village that we're at say that they saw her go missing, right? And she was never found, so presumed that she probably died. You're the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think? Except for those pesky humans who keep killing all the members of your army. Excuse me. She died from the start. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose is just to dethrone you. what's their deal anyway? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes they'll leave you and your army alone. They never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing. You're being quite honest with yourself. You don't really understand the politics of it. Don't you remember? It isn't her fault. That is true. It's not the Overlord's fault. But you remind yourself of everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. Let's just, is there a button to skip to the choice? Here we go. Let's give them the day off. You tell them to go take a break from the stifling castle atmosphere and refresh their dark soul. A day off should be fine every once in a while. They thank you and happily scurry off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the Overlord sure is great. You are awakened by one of your underlings. A hero wishes to speak with you. He inquires about a maiden who is rumored to be here, but you've never seen her. Humans don't visit often, or ever, really. As the hero takes his leave, you wonder why he totally trusted you there. Heroes traditionally kill demons. This guy seemed like he was bad at his job, in your opinion. Whatever. You're still feeling sleepy, so you go right back to your nap. One of your underlings is tearing your throat out. You try to struggle, but you can't. You can tell you're already mortally wounded. What have you done to deserve this kind of ending? You remember now, you gave this one a day off, and this is how it repays you? You die, wondering if you could have done anything to prevent this. Assassinated Overlord ending. That one's sad. That one's just horrible. We did everything right and we still died. We got 5 endings. What's this? No, don't want to exit the theater. No. What's this? Menu. We'll save. Well, I wonder what happens if we don't eat the maiden. So... Oh wait, oh yeah, we gave him the day off. She's surprisingly cool with it? Nice! You set out on your adventure outside the castle. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask. Ooh, this is different. Play Doki Doki Literature Club. You know how awful that would be? Yuki would demand that I have a different female voice for all of them, and I wouldn't be able to do it. Plus, I have a plan for Doki Doki in the future, because I have Doki Doki Plus, but I'm away from home right now, that's why I can stream, so when I do that, it'll probably be a video, because it's on my PS5. She greets you, and she says that she has a favor to ask. You consider your options. Gobble her up, or hear her out. Well, Yuki, I think I already know your answer, but what do you want to do? Talk? Alright. Hear her out. You're in a good mood today, and rather not curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You haven't guessed it would be possible to understand each other before now. The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. They seem to be getting along just fine, so you decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're going to get rid of the current overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out, and being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead?" Your friends question your loyalty to the cause. Okay, let's kill the overlord, disloyal, or she's actually not so bad, guys. She ain't that bad, she gave us a day off this time. What should we do? Why kill? I don't know. Apparently they're not happy with her. I'm kinda happy. She gave me a day off, and I even brought back a maiden. You sound like you're against killing, so she's actually not so bad, you guys. Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the Overlord really has no place in our castle. You understand, right? Their claws tighten around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things like this end. This is a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. They slit your throat in response. Faithful underling ending. That's sad. Poor underling. Can't believe they did that to us. Well, we played the maiden now. I think we should survive. So now we can choose to introduce ourselves or shout for a hero. What should we do? We did get nommed, that's true. Maiden seems so boring, huh? We'll introduce ourselves. You tell the demon about your name and explain that you are a maiden from the village. Tell them that you were thinking about maybe you could understand your role better if you were to hurry up and get taken away by the demon already. The demon doesn't seem to really be listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agreed to take you to their master nonetheless. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. Turns out she never had any plans to capture maidens, or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out, that something awful would happen, then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. You ask the Overlord what you should do to be a more suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. Excuse me. She makes it sound so simple. The Overlord seemed like the complete opposite of you. My throat. I want to learn more about her, how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little you realize they might not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send a hero after them. You realize that must be why you'd never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You've always thought demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same for humans. You may be different, but they're really just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand a lot better. But maybe everything I've said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, I think this place is far more interesting than the way things are back home. You kind of like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with the Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. As you think that, a hero enters the room. You're surprised to see him at first until you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks you what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you were never in any danger. The hero expresses his relief the whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. You apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks if you'll return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you give her a little wave as you exit the room. You'll be back soon. You're about halfway back to the village when you feel something is off. Unable to shake your concern, you look back over your shoulder. You stop in your tracks. The castle is engulfed in flames. Is the Overlord alright? You can't return to the village like this. You have to know. You have to make sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off before the hero can even think of stopping you. You scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment, you rush into the burning castle to find her. You quickly reach the Overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle is too hot to touch. You're too weak to force it open. You pound your fist against the door helplessly. What were you thinking? This is all because you'd forgotten your role. Only a hero could pull this kind of thing off. You start to cough. The smoke is too thick. You can hardly breathe. You realize you haven't gotten much time left now. You desperately head towards the stairs to save yourself. But the fire spread faster than you expected. You won't make it outside. You can't help but laugh. What a joke. A maiden saving the Overlord? If you just stayed true to your role, things wouldn't have ended like this. This is exactly the kind of punishment you deserve. You let the demon fire cleanse your rotten soul. The Selfless Maiden Ending B. A lot of sad endings. Well, what should we do? Any suggestions? Oof, indeed. We don't seem to be able to get a break so far. who should we be? We have 7 out of 41 endings. And you seem troubled. We'll just go back to the classic, an underling. Alrighty. So we'll hear her out. You're in a good mood today, and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. You don't want to be a demon lord anymore? You worried that you're gonna be burnt alive and betrayed? Better watch out, man. I know a certain... It's too exhausting. You're in a good mood today, and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You haven't guessed it would be possible to understand each other before now. The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. They seem to be getting along just fine, so you decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get sleep for long. Your friends wake you up. Very rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current overlord and put a new ruler in place. They want to hear if you're in or out, and being a pretty lazy underling, you, of course, reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead?" Excuse me? Yeah, you gotta take those naps from being evil. Your friends question your loyalty to their cause. Well, we know what the other one does, so... Okay, guys, let's kill the Overlord. You tell them that you were just joking and clarify that you're totally in it to win it. They say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'd be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield of false confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figure they'd just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on, and while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree and suggest that you play the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this. Is it? You think my voice for the underling is a Shota? But you can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You and your friends turn to notice a pair of humans have overheard your entire conversation. They take off into the castle. Are they headed to the Overlord's room? F. The Overlord will kill you for sure if she found out you were conspiring to take her out. You dash into the castle after the humans. Sure enough, the maiden's already frantically telling the Overlord everything. You shout that the humans are liars. Your friends soon arrive to back you up, except they don't. Instead, They blame the whole thing on you. They cry that it was all your idea and that they were just going with the flow, too scared to refuse your crazy plan. You can't believe they'd tell the Overlord such a blatant lie. You always knew better than to trust them. You're the one who didn't have a choice here. You all shout at each other until the Overlord demands silence. Regardless of who led the conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. She sounds tough, but lately all she does is sleep. You doubt her strength. You hear the traitorous friends mutter something about going back to Plan A, and suddenly, the door slams shut. You're trapped in here with the Overlord and the two humans. And then the room bursts into flames. You pound on the door, screaming curses at those who had betrayed you. The hero joins you, vowing to slay the lot of them. You wish he'd get that chance. The Overlord grabs you by the throat. You cry for mercy. You were forced into this mess. You're sure now that they would have killed you if you'd sided with her. But with the Overlord, doesn't hear your pleas. She drives her claws into your chest. At least she made it quick. The traitor underling ending. Big lag. I'm sorry, it's the first time I've ever streamed. I don't know if I have everything set up properly. So we can check things. Excuse me. So it would be disloyal. He'll be diplomatic. She'll be polite. And then we'll play the Overlord. So we'll tell them to get back to work. You awake, excuse me. You awake to a knock on your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. You thought you told underling to do their job, not drag strangers into their room. Looks like they took an unauthorized break away from the castle. You scold them, but ultimately, you're a little interested in this guess, so you let them off easy. That underling's not so bad. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient, thinking about her impending capture. So she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough. How can I become more maiden-like? You don't really understand the situation, or the question. You think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. Just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. The maiden seems to be having a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists that she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks into your eyes. This is the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. You wonder what to say. Tell her she better go home, or let her stay for a while. What should we do, guys? Should we be antisocial, or should we party with the maiden? What do you guys think? I'm not getting any answers, so we'll let her stay for a while. You can't bring yourself to send the maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not at all what she expected them to be. You are glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kinds of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as not to agitate them and get heroes sent out after you. That explains why the people of my village have been left unarmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We are very grateful. You're surprised to hear her thank you. You've always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed, despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. You joke that maybe you'll be lying to her this whole time, that you were actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. The people in her village are all a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time, it's a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden, who was rumored to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all. I only wanted to meet with the Overlord. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything is explained, the hero expresses his relief that the whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks her to return to the village with him. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised that you had one of those to begin with. You don't want the hero to take the maiden away from you. We can keep her here or let them go. What do you guys think? Maybe you'll be able to answer this time. Hopefully I know you said there was a little lag. Hopefully it's not that bad anymore. Any takers? Any choices to be had? I'm gonna take that as a no because no one's saying anything, so we'll let them go. You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that. You decide. With the hero and maiden gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. Your room feels so empty now. Is this loneliness? You hope your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while. You've almost fallen asleep when the maiden and the hero burst into your room, frantically trying to communicate something to you. You're told that a group of demons is plotting to assassinate you. You're not surprised. How nice of the humans to care, though. One of your underlings barges in next, shouting that the humans are all liars. They're followed by another group of demons, crying that everything was the first underling's plan. Everyone is shouting over each other now, and it's very annoying. You yell for all of them to shut their traps. You have no doubt that your servants wouldn't let their ambitions cloud their judgment and lead them to try to take your throne. Regardless of who led the conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my heel. Saying that made you feel very overlord-like. You aren't sure if you have the strength to back it up, though. Lately, all you do is sleep. I like the face. The art style is really cute. The group of demons started muttering something about going back to Plan A and suddenly slams your door shut. You, the maiden, the hero, and one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underling pounds on the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. The hero pounds on the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. So this is how you'll die. Burned alive in your own room by those you thought you could trust. You should have expected this from a bunch of idiot demons, though. You notice the maiden crying. Why does she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. You wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration, you don't even notice that you've grabbed the underling those traitors blamed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying that they were dragged into this plot knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. They cry. They didn't want to have to kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. But we take retribution. You pierce their chest with your claws. They scream. The hero backs away. He is wise not to interfere. They've stopped moving, but you keep digging and twisting your claws into them. It doesn't make you feel any better. The underling's corpse burns alongside with you and the two humans. Spiteful overlord ending. That's sad. The poor underling, he just gets bullied, huh? You still here, David? I haven't seen you chat much since you mentioned Doki Doki. Yes, sir. Do you want to pick one of them? The hero? Alright. You are the hero. You like to think of yourself as a pretty reliable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. So we've seen these before. So the first option, bravely slaughter the evil creatures or flee like a coward. What would you like to do? What do you want to do, David? You want to slaughter them or you want to be a coward? B? Alright. Forgetting your pride, you escape with your life. You can't return home now. Your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. You'll take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You are faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters even if you want to reach the Overlord. Should we cut through the demon army or ask if they'll let us in? It's up to you. What do you want to do? Ask them? Alright. You go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. But they seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord and Maiden seem to be in the middle of some casual conversation when you barge in. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Should we destroy the Overlord or ask the Maiden what's going on? Okay. Ask the Maiden. The Maiden explains that she was never actually captured, and that she came here of her own volition. That was a pretty dangerous thing of her to do, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. You ask her to return to town with you, to reassure everyone of her safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you casually exit the castle. You pause when you see a group of suspicious demons standing near the entrance. They're talking about assassinating their Overlord. This proves to you that the demons really are foul creatures. We have to tell her about this. You don't understand what the Maiden is thinking. The world is better off with less demons. They're all cold, ruthless creatures that should be destroyed. And those same creatures have noticed you eavesdropping. The Maiden takes off into the castle, and you have no choice but to follow. You burst into the Overlord's room. The Maiden frantically tries to communicate what you just overheard. A demon underling barges in next, calling you liars. It's followed by a group from the entrance, who shifts the blame back onto the little one. These demons only care about themselves. How low can they be? You begin shouting at them, and the whole room dissolves into noise until the Overlord yells for everyone to shut their traps. She threatens them with violence. The Overlord is no better than her subjects. You grip your sword tightly. If you have to cut through everyone here to get the Maiden to safety, you certainly will. The group of demons hissed to each other before shutting the door, leaving the runt of the little litter behind. You glance around for another exit, but there isn't one. You have a terrible feeling about this. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. What kind of demonic magic is this? The underling pounds on the door, upset that it's been betrayed. You join it, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. The next moment, the Overlord has taken hold of the underling. It's crying for mercy. She thrusts her claws into her underling's chest, and it lets out a horrible scream. You back away. You won't be the next target of her rage. She continues to twist her claws into the limp body. You can no longer watch. You look to the Maiden. She's crying, her hands clasped together in prayer. To have faith in a time like this, you envy her. The two of you, the Overlord and the underling's corpse, are all consumed by the flames. Resigned hero ending. We're getting these endings though. We got 10 out of 41. This be the hero and do the opposite now. Bravely slaughter the evil creatures. You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the council's front gate. You are faced by an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Oof, indeed, we're not going pacifist route this time. We'll cut through the demon army. You gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are all evil demons anyway. The world is much safer with them gone. That's what you tell yourself while you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. You find the maiden being held captive by the Overlord, just as you suspected. But for some reason, you can't sense anything sinister happening. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. There's no time to hesitate. We'll destroy the Overlord. You lunge forward, driving your blade through the evil Overlord. She screams, then falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. You smile, offering the maiden your hand. She takes it after slight hesitation. She must be surprised at how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She's oddly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. The villagers are very pleased with what a good job you've done, slaying the Overlord and saving a hostage. They throw a huge celebration in your name. You are remembered for generations as the greatest hero the village has ever seen. Triumphant hero ending. Alright. Well, thanks for coming by, David. It was a pleasure having you. So, hope you have a good night. Let's see. So now we got more word options. What if we're the maiden in that scenario? No, I'll shout for a hero to come save me. You yell, but a hero does not come. The demon is put off by your son shouting and asks you to keep it down. You apologize. They seem more confused than hostile, which totally catches you off guard. You tell the demon your name and explain that you are a maiden from the village. You tell them that you were thinking about maybe you could understand your role better if you were to hurry up and get taken away by a demon already. The demon doesn't seem to really have been listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agree to take you to the master nonetheless. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. She lectures the underling that brought you here, who was apparently told not to leave their post. You wonder what cruel punishment awaits them. But to your surprise, she lets them off easy. The underling is dismissed, and the Overlord turns to you, looking very interested. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. It turns out she'd never had any plans to capture maidens, or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out and something awful would happen. Then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. You ask the Overlord what you should do to be a more suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. She makes it sound so simple. The Overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, and little by little, you realize they might not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving the humans any excuse to send a hero after them. You realize that must be why you've never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You've always thought demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same about humans. You may be different, but they're really just trying to live their lives the same as you. You feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. But maybe everything I've just said to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if I turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far better, far more interesting than the way things are back at home. You kind of like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with the Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. But then a hero barges into the room. His clothes are stained by a dark liquid. It's dripping from his weapon, too. You realize it must be demon blood. Something horrible has happened. The hero suddenly dashes towards the Overlord, sword drawn. The hero's blade pierces the Overlord, and she lets out a horrible scream. You flinch. The Overlord is slain. The hero smiles and holds out his hand to you, saying it's time to go home. His glove is drenched in blood. Hesitantly, you take his hand. The hero guides you through the castle, past the corpses of his enemies. You try to keep your eyes at your feet. There's blood everywhere. You shut your eyes, but even then you can't escape the smell. All of this was because of you, wasn't it? You exit the castle, and the hero leads you back to the village. Everyone celebrates the hero's great triumph over the demons. You feel sick. You take part in the festivities regardless. Complacent maiden ending. So what happens if I'm the Overlord in that situation? Let her stay for a while. You notice the sounds of battle have been started ringing through your castle halls. The maiden is getting nervous, but you reassure her it's only your underlings roughhousing, no big deal. You know it's probably a hero, but you don't want to upset the maiden by telling her that. Your army will take care of it. It isn't long before the hero bursts into your room. But you shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? The hero just stands there, unsure of himself. He's covered in demon blood. As the maiden speaks to him, trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero, out the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies and pieces all strewn about your castle has really taken you out of it. The hero did this? There's so much blood. Why? Did he come for the maiden? Did he think she needed rescuing? There was no way for the hero to save her. The hero to save. There's no one for this hero to save here. There was never any harm meant to anyone. You were just talking to her. Why has it turned out like this? You feel a sudden sharp pain through your back. You look down to see a blade protruding from your chest. Ah, that was careless of you. This is how you die. Stabbed in the back by the same cowardly hero. What a joke. You're supposed to be the ruthless one. That's right. Humans can't be trusted. Not if this is what they're capable of. You should have remembered that before letting one in. You watch as the hero takes the maiden's hand, leading her through the sea of corpses he'd left in his wake. Captured by a demon. At least she got what she came here for. You join your army in eternal slumber. All these endings are so sad. Slain Overlord ending. Well. I'll be the maiden again. But there was a different option, I think. Right, I can protect her. I'll stop it. You selfishly throw yourself in front of the hero's blade, acting as a shield. It's funny, you think. You never could have imagined this would be the way you'd die. The roles are all switched around, but it feels right to you somehow. You are glad your destiny turned out to be saving someone rather than being saved yourself. As your vision fades, you hope that everything turns out alright for your new friend. The sacrificial maid ending. Okay. I wonder what the Overlord thinks about that. Whoops, I think I might have went too far. Or, I don't think so. Never mind. The maid shouts something behind you. And you turn just in time to see her throw herself in between you and the hero's blade. It pierces her chest, and she falls to the floor, lifeless. As the pool of blood beneath her grows, so does your rage. This hero has taken everyone from you now. You lose control, and the hero is obliterated. But your hatred for the humans has not yet been sated. You go on to destroy them all and become the ruler of the entire world. Vengeful Overlord End A. That's just sad. What's the hero like in this? So if we try to destroy the Overlord, is she gonna throw herself in front of it this time too? But your blade pierces the maiden instead. She has sacrificed herself to protect this demon. It takes you a moment to recover from the shock. The Overlord wails. Why did you do that? You're not sure if the question is directed at you. The Overlord strikes at you in eventual rage. You parry and she is slain. Your sword feels heavy. You look at your hands, your clothes. Blood. So much blood. You look to the fallen maiden, wondering what to tell the townspeople. Why would she protect the Overlord? She must have been brainwashed by a demonic magic. You pick up the Overlord's head, wrapping it in your cape, and begin your long journey home to town. You will say that you were too late. There is nothing that could be done for the girl. But the Overlord is slain. There will be a celebration. Loyal hero ending. That's sad. What's the underling like in this? Oh, this was different. Hold on, I'll return back to the theater. Yes. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. You are a demon underling in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. It's not a lot of standing in one place, staring into nothing. You feel like you're going to go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. Excuse me. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? You complain about the Overlord to your friends. Excuse me. They agree that she is kind of a snob and totally deserved to be kicked out of her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer this in a responsible direction. What's not? You tell your friends you were totally not serious about the whole thing. You're actually cool with the status quo. After all, life must be pretty dang good if only thing you have to complain about is that you live so comfortably there's nothing to do. The others nod but don't seem convinced. You say a coup d'etat would be more effective, or be more effort than it's worth. But you're still gonna be a rebel and sneak out of the castle. Your friends praise your mischievous ways. The change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She seems very frowning and screams for a hero to come save her. You consider your options. Tell her to quit yelling. When the maiden realizes you're not going to hurt her, she regains her composure. She's now started talking to you like you're friends or something. You don't understand humans at all. You speak the same language, of course, which has always confused you, because why is there conveniently only one language in the world? If demons and humans have independent societies, wouldn't it make sense for them to have their own language? The maiden is going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is she wants you to take her to the Overlord. She sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. The Overlord asks you where you found this maiden, knowing full well that you left the castle when you weren't supposed to. You apologize for disobeying her, but hope that the maiden is an interesting enough present that you may be forgiven. The Overlord nods and says everything's cool as long as you listen to her from now on. You're impressed with what an easygoing boss she is. You mention how you can't believe you and your friends even considered overthrowing her. She gives you a look and you say, "That was just a joke, of course." She smiles and dismisses you. You decide it's about time for a nap. A few hours of sleep, you're rudely awakened by the sound of battle. You emerge from your room and find the hero has slaughtered many of your friends and work associates. What a jerk. Avenge your fallen comrades. Who does this guy think he is? Coming in here and killing everyone like some maniac? What did we ever do to him? You lunge at him while he's busy driving a sword into the guard, who sometimes brought you food whenever they noticed you were feeling kinda down. You like that guard. You wish with all your demon heart for this human to suffer for his deeds. You bite into him, tearing his flesh from bone. It tastes like iron. The hero struggles. You feel a sword go through you, but there is no pain, only retribution. More of your comrades pile onto him as your consciousness fades. The hero is overtaken. Your army has won. You have earned your rest. Victorious Underling. Nice. So if I do that again, and this time we'll save ourselves. You look around at the lifeless forms of those you've known as far back as you can remember. You feel glad to not be in their shoes. You also feel guilty to be thinking that you flee the castle. Until you remember your role, not as an underling, but as a demon. The kind of thing is expected of you. Maybe you'll start a new life, far away from any humans or demons, where you'll live peacefully, alone, in some deep, dark forest somewhere. The Deserter. Well, we got a lot of the endings done so far, almost halfway. What should we do? Let's just make him heroic. Actually, I don't know if that's a good idea. We'll make him diplomatic. We'll make the maiden polite. And we'll play the underling. Actually, what happens if we do? Let's overthrow her. No, you're sick of this overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree that it's time for a change of management. Your friends suggest that maybe you should be the new overlord. You like the sound of that. You announce your first act of rebellion is to take the day off like you wanted. Your friends aren't very impressed and assure them you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. You sneak out of the castle to have some fun. The change of atmosphere excites you and you spend some time rolling around in the grass and wild and free. So we'll hear her out. You're in a good mood today, so we just take her to the overlord. Okay. Let's kill the overlord, everyone. You tell them you were just joking and clarify that you were totally in it to win it. They say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the overlord, you know how bad it is to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you were innocent all along. But beneath your shield and fox confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea on how to go about this. You figured they just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. It could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are such a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on, and while showy does make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree, and they suggest that you play the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this. You can't back down now. You'll have no choice but to be the one to assassinate the overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You sneak into the overlord's room. She's taking a nap like usual. This is almost too easy. You silently approach your master. She looks so peaceful. Time to die. You figure the cleanest way to do this would be to dig your claws into her throat. So you do just that. She wakes, but not in time to stop you. You watch as she chokes on her blood, cursing you before finally expiring. That felt terrible. You remind yourself it was either her or you, and you weren't about to let yourself get killed by anyone. You leave the room to find your friends waiting just outside. They look pleased. Only now, do you realize that they must have planned to use you like this from the beginning. You are now the ruler of this castle. Your subjects bow before you. You live in fear that they will one day betray you, as you had betrayed your overlord. The Lord Underling ending B. So if I do that again, and then I'll chicken out. You don't want to kill her. You can't go through with it. You turn to leave the room, but you find your friends blocking the exit. In a panicking whisper, you ask them to let you out. This seems to have been their way of testing your loyalty. You tell them that it's pretty effed up, and ask again to be let out. The overlord stirs in her bed while your head is turned. The demon shut the door. You scramble into the overlord's closet to hide before she wakes up and sees you. There's nothing you could possibly say to explain this and survive. You're trembling. You can't believe those a-holes would bully you like this. You feel like crying. Light flickers at your feet. It doesn't take you long to realize they've set the room on fire. You hear the overlord trying to get the door open to no avail. You're both trapped. Too afraid to move, you resign yourself to your fate. You and the overlord burn together. Cowardly Underling ending. Well, we got 20 out of 41, and it's been a little while. I think I'm gonna call it right about here, so I hope everyone enjoyed this. It's been really fun. It's an interesting game. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know how many times I'll be able to stream currently, so it won't be for very long. I'm away. I have better internet at the moment, but soon I'll be back home and I won't be able to, so as always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Sugarcane. I do a lot of my content there instead. It's a lot easier for me to just record, and I will be uploading stream VODs like today, once I figure out how to make sure I did it all right. But yeah, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys all have a good night or morning, whichever it is for you. So, bye-bye.